Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day. And don't go with the crowd. Don't go with the crowd. I know you've all heard the term. There is no traffic on the extra mile. I was thinking that this morning. I was in a slight hurry, and I was going to take my kids to school. I went to yoga, 6 a.m., and so on the way there, no traffic. Just don't take me a long time to get there. When I get out of there to drive home, not bad either, because nobody's up. Most people ain't up on the grind, on the hustle at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so if we, this is the place where you come to go to the next level. This is not a talk show. This is not where we just try to make you feel good. This is where we give it to you real, that you can take it to the next level. And so to go to the next level, you got to understand you can't go with the crowd. I was talking to my daughter. I'm in the process of trying to develop young minds into becoming leaders. And I was having a conversation with my 7-year-old daughter, and I was trying to talk to her about being a leader. And I said, listen, what I'm trying to explain to you is if everybody in your class, let's say there's 30 people, go do one thing. If you think it's wrong or you don't think it's the right thing, if you think this is the right way, part of being a leader is being willing to separate and do the opposite of what the crowd is doing and not feeling that you need validation to go with everybody. And so I want you sometimes to understand if you're going to go to the next level, you're sometimes, especially in the beginning, you may have to go alone, because trendsetters and leaders are always misunderstood. You ever notice how people think some of the greatest people in the world that have accomplished great things, all people thought they were crazy? Like, I think it was it Henry Ford that had the assembly line and made the cars. And I think I heard a quote at one time, him saying that if I would have listened to what everybody else thought, I would have just tried to make a faster horse. We'd all be on horseback right now. But they thought he was crazy. Elon Musk, they thought he was crazy. A lot of the greats, people think they're crazy. At first, they're misunderstood. I'm nowhere near some of those great people. But I know people thought I was crazy. Why did you go to college to go in straight commission sales? Why'd you let your mom quit her job after all these years working minimum wage to finally get to a certain place to come move and with you to start a new company? Why would you this? Why would you do that? Why do you work with young people? Why are you hiring young people? Why do you work with such young people and let them have an environment? You know, they're playing basketball in the office and cornhole and ping pong. It looks unprofessional. No, you just misunderstood. Who says we got to be uptight? Who says we're not against older folks? We got some good older folks with some experience, but we don't have to have, I like the coachable person, any age. I like the person with energy, any age. I like the person that's willing to pay the price, any age. And we want to have fun. This ain't a courtroom. This ain't a church. This is not a funeral service. We're here to have, we spend a lot of time. A lot of times people spend more time in their offices or in their business than they actually even spend at home. I want people to have fun. We got to get to work, but we dress down sometimes. We play cornhole sometimes. We play music sometimes. And so some people on the come up, now it makes more sense. We've been around 17 years. We've, opened up a bunch of offices. We've had some success, and now coming into it, it's a little bit different. But when I used to approach and talk to landlords or talk to people about the vision of what we do, it's misunderstood. It's unprofessional. It wasn't unprofessional. It's just different than what you're thinking. And so understand this. most of your goals, like that you have, if you were to write down, man, here's my vision for my mother. Here's my vision for my kids. Here's what I would like to do in my marriage. Here's the type of vacations I'd like to go on. Here's the type of opportunities. Here's the type of schools. Here's the type of cars. Here's the type of retirement. Here's what I want my retired life to look like. Here's the type of medical treatment that I would like to have access to. Here's what the life looks like for me. Understand, most of your goals are accomplished. That vision is accomplished by 1% of America. I don't know. I think last time I checked, there was plus, 300 million plus Americans. So I'm no genius, but I know 10% of 300 million is 30 million. So 1% of that is 3 million. So the good news for you is all you got to do is be 1 out of 3 million people to be in the top 1%. It ain't that hard. It is not that hard. Thank the Lord. You don't have to have a doctorate degree. You don't have to have a master's degree. You don't have to come from a rich family. You don't have, those, I'm not saying those things are bad or they're going to hurt you. All I'm saying is you don't have to. It's not about your IQ. It's about your GQ. It's about your grind quotient. Can you put the freaking work in consistently when you don't feel like it, when you're misunderstood, because you got to go hard and make sacrifices if you want to make goals get accomplished that only 1% of Americans can get accomplished. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. What do you think? They're just going to hand it to you? You're a nice guy. You're a nice girl. You went to college like everybody else did. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give you the best house on the best street with the best health and the best doctors and the best schools for your kids and the best training for your kids and the best environment and the best airplanes and the best vacations and the best retirement situation. No, that's what's happening. These kids are coming out of college and they're thinking, man, I graduated, pay me. I'm supposed to just, no. That don't mean nothing. Now you got to get to work. Now it's about the GQ. Now it's about the grind quotient. Everybody's going 9 to 5. Most people are working 8. So I remember picking the brain of a man that was in our business that I looked up to at the time and still admire. And his residual income was $100,000 a month. And at the time, I was blown away by that. I mean, to get 6 figures in renewals off a business that you did long time ago before you wake up out of bed every month blew my mind. Blew my mind. And I asked him, and he said, you know what, Simon, here's the secret to it. You don't have to work too hard. You got to work half days. I'm like, man, half days? How did you make it work in half days? He said, yeah, there's 24 hours in a day. You got to figure out which half do you want to work. You got to be willing to work 12 hours a day. That's what he told me. Most people around me would tell you that they've seen me for years work 12 hours a day. Now I'm in a position where sometimes I don't have to work 12 hours a day. I'm always zoned in. I'm always focused. I'm always thinking and game planning. But there's times where I don't have to put in 12-hour days now. But that's because of all the 12-hour days that I put in before. And so don't look for outside validation from people who don't understand what it requires. Because people that don't understand, like I've never had somebody that's super successful feel bad for me when I'm like, I got to work this weekend. I got to travel. I got to get on a plane. Man, this month I got a lot of travel. What's a lot of travel? I got to travel Monday through Wednesday twice or 3 times this month. The people that are super successful, they're like, a couple times, a couple months. I had to travel for weeks. at a time, 4 or 5 days a week. I had friends of mine that are successful husband and wife, successful family. The husband leaves on Monday, comes back Thursday night, travels and lives in another state and has to go to work and comes home on the weekends. But a lot of, I haven't had a bunch of super successful people. And I know most of you are thinking financially, and I'm thinking a lot of that too. But then I think about, I've had people that I've admired and looked up to that have built successful nonprofit businesses that are not poor, but they're far from rich. But the ones that have the super successful nonprofits, what sticks out about them, they all work half days. They grind. They put in a lot of work. When I got an inside look at their life, it's no secret. It's no wonder why their nonprofit is successful. I get it. It's like running a business. These people are working hard, constantly, weekends, evenings, putting in extra work. If you're looking from outside validation from people, all you're going to get is people pulling you down. If you're taking advice, that's why you'll hear me say, try not. Sometimes you can get wisdom from people that you wouldn't want to trade places with. There's probably a man that's in prison for life that could give you some good advice and wisdom. There's probably some people that have some major mistakes they've made that are in a jacked up spot that could give you some decent advice and wisdom. So there's always an exception to the rule. There's also probably people out there that are 5'8" and dunk a basketball. But I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't bank on them being a bunch of those in the NBA. And so instead of looking for the small percentage and trying to justify it, how about you go with the large percentage and try not to take too much advice from people that you wouldn't want to trade places with in that area of your life. And so it's crazy to me when people try to give advice to people on what not to do or how hard not to work, and you look at their life and they're broke, they don't have a lot of money, they're not super successful, or they're not successful in whatever area it is of their life. It doesn't have to be financially. But don't look for outside validation from people who don't understand what it requires. Because I'm telling you right now, what it requires is to walk alone. When you start to do what's best for you, that's going to take you to the next level, a lot of people are going to not understand you. You're going to have to separate yourself from the crowd. You're going to have to separate yourself from people that want to be average. It doesn't mean that you have to think you're better than anybody else. But so for example, and I train with and around a lot of fighters, pro fighters, they move and go oftentimes, or they drive and travel. They travel or they move to go to a place where they have the best training partners that they can have in a fight camp, where these people are on the grind with them doing the same stuff. So if they're working 14 sessions a week into their craft, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, strength and conditioning, that's normal. That's normal. If they're not wilding out on the weekends, drinking and partying and smoking because they got training on Saturday morning and they're in their 20s, that's normal. All these people are here to be professionals and to be great. Now, if they were just in a gym where it's like, these people are like doing this on their lunch break and they're eating pizza and wings every night and they got, kids and a family and they're an accountant, and stuff like that, you're not going to get the same environment and push from people that are on a different plan than you. And so you got to be willing to separate yourself to go to the next level. You got to be able to block out the noise to go to the next level. You got to be willing to do the work that the other 99% ain't willing to do to go to the next level. You try to not take too much advice from people you wouldn't want to trade places with in that area of your life to go to the next level. You gotta audit yourself and ask yourself, am I not doing what is required to go to the next level because of either A, what other people are saying to me that are close to me that don't know what it requires, or I'm patting myself on the back because I'm the best one in my gym. If you're the best one in your gym, sometimes you need to go to another gym to push yourself. If you're the hardest working person in your office, that's great. But did you want to be number one in the country? Or did you want to be number one in your city? Because number one in your city effort doesn't take the same effort as it takes to be number one in the nation. At the top, you start being separated by inches. And so I just want to encourage you guys out there, be leaders, be trendsetters. Understand that when you're chasing a dream, when you're chasing a goal, when you're on a mission and you're pushing for a dream, not everybody is going to co-sign for that. Not everybody's going to understand your grind. And it's not about your IQ, it's about your GQ. And we ain't talking about the way that you dress and look. We're talking about the way that you grind. So thank you, guys. If this helps anybody, please share it with somebody that you know we can be helpful to. But thank you, guys, for joining us on another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day.